Due to numerous absences and poor grades, the anime girl faced multiple threats of expulsion from school. Even the teachers bullied her constantly, considering her intellect to be on par with a fourth grader. But one day, when her parents were ready to kick her out of the house, she made a life-changing decision. Clenching her teeth and mustering all her willpower, she decides to get through it. Will she able to stop constant bullying and achieve what she wants? Let's see. Sayaka is a middle school student, but she has no friends, is a sociopath, and is often bullied by her classmates because of this. She has a younger brother, Yuta, and a sister, Miami. Her father is only focused on Ryuti, who he believes should one day become a baseball superstar. The sisters are often alone with their mother, who is very caring. The teachers think she is suffering from some kind of mental illness and needs to go to a special school. Returning home, Sayaki sees two schoolgirls walk past them. She notes that their uniforms are very pretty, so she goes to their school. Sayaki is very nervous on her first day, afraid that her new classmates will also bully her. But to her surprise, everyone treats her well, especially a group of 3 girls who become instant friends with her. They make her twist her skirt to make it shorter and make the girl look better. They also do her makeup and hair in the restroom and welcome her into their new gang. As the girls grow older, they turn into anime girls. They usually dye their hair blonde and wear revealing clothing. The girls often dress up, have parties, drink, and completely ignore their studies. Their class teacher, Mr. Nishimura, scolds them every day and thinks that they will definitely not get into college. Sayaki usually comes home in the morning when her father and brother are practicing outside the house. The relationship between her and her father eventually fizzles out. He only talks to his daughter when he has to scold her, and she ignores him completely. However, her mother is always on her side and supports the girl, even though she doesn't understand her lifestyle. Sayaka's life changes on the first day of her second year. It is then that Mr. Nishimura discovers a hidden pack of cigarettes in her school bag. The girl is immediately sent to the principal's office to face the consequences of her actions. Her mother receives a call informing her of all of Sayaka's machinations. The mother pleads with the principal to let her daughter stay, claiming that the school's job is to teach the very weak students, not to capitalize on the smartest ones. At her repeated request, the principal still agrees to let Sayaka go with a strict reprimand. Since Sayaka now has a lot of time on her hands, she starts dyeing her hair blonde and going out every day. Her mother suggests that she try to go to university. She truly believes that if Sayaki tries, she will succeed. To prepare her for the university entrance exam, Mrs. Kuda sends her to Saiku's school. Teacher Subota is shocked to see that someone like Sayaka is interested in learning. He motivates her and takes it upon himself to help the girl get into Keio University. The university is considered one of the most prestigious and difficult universities in the world to get into, which makes Sayaka laugh at the thought that someone like her could be chosen to attend this university. To test her grade level, Sensei makes up a test for her. Sayaki scores 0 out of 100, but the teacher is still impressed because she answered all the questions, whereas any other student would have given up at the same moment. While evaluating her performance, he states that her knowledge is comparable to a 4th grade student. Hence, the man starts from the beginning, teaching her the middle school curriculum. The next day, Sayaki goes to a restaurant with her friends, but she studies the whole time. The girls are shocked but at the same time happy because their friend is working very hard to get into university. After studying for a week at the preparatory school, she scores 5 points out of 100 for the first time. The teacher is happy with the result and encourages her to work even harder. We learn that he works very well with all the students. They want to go to him to learn a lot. The man never makes anyone feel stupid for not knowing something and does his best to support everyone. However, she has a hard time because she doesn't even know simple things, like confusing north with south. Her father refuses to pay for her training because it is too expensive. Moreover, he doesn't believe that she will ever be able to go to university. On the other hand, her mother is determined to work harder and pays for Sayaka's tuition. One day, when our Hurl is in prep school, one of the mothers drags her son Reiji in. He too is an anime boy, like Sayaka, and has no interest in studying. Reiji's parents are lawyers and want him to choose the same profession, but he is only interested in video games. Subota asks him if he knows what game theory is. This sparks Reiji's interest, and he starts studying hard to get into law school and prove his father's point. After a few days, Sayaki makes significant progress, but Sensei wants to speed things up. So he finds an interesting new way to teach her. The man makes her take off her makeup for every wrong answer. He even promises to show the students an embarrassing photo from her childhood when Sayaki scores 100 on her middle school English test. From that day on, Sayaki studies all the time and ends up getting the highest score on the test. As promised, Sensei shows them a picture from his childhood and tells them that he was just as ordinary a student, so he wants to help everyone else. After that, Sayaka dyes her hair black and continues to go to school. When Mr. Nishimura finds out that she is going to go to university, he jokes that if she succeeds, he will dance naked on the school playground. Sayaki challenges him, which gives her even more motivation to study harder. One day, Sayaki and Reiji are standing outside a restaurant when they see Subota meeting Mr. Nishimura. It turns out that the teacher also funds prep classes and doesn't want Sensei to take weak students like Sayaki. He believes that the reputation of the class is more important than the future of the student. Sensei insists that he believes in Sayaka and knows she will get into her desired university. Seeing the teacher sticking up for her, Sayaki begins to cry. At home, Mrs. Kuda notices that her daughter has improved since she started taking preparatory classes. The next day, Subota calls her to discuss Sayaka's progress. He claims that the girl is the fastest learner he's ever had, but since they don't have much time before the entrance exams, she needs to study 6 days a week. This will cost even more money, but the woman pays the school using her relatives' credit cards. Sayaki learns about this from Sensei and is upset that she is causing her mother so much trouble. One day, her friends invite Sayaki to a restaurant. She goes with them, but is busy studying the whole time. The girls then take her to a hot spring and promise that they will only hang out after Sayaka's exams because they know how hard she is studying. Sayaki cries and thanks them for their understanding. After a few months, Sayaki finally moves on to the school program and has to learn how to write essays. Subota gives her some books and asks her to watch a lot of news. When the program becomes more difficult, it becomes very hard for the heroine to concentrate, so she cuts her hair short to show her determination. Within a few weeks, she studies so hard that she falls asleep during most of her classes at school. One day, Mr. Nishimura grabs her by the hair and calls her mother to tell her that her daughter hasn't gotten any better since she was suspended. But Mrs. Kuda objects that Sayaki is no longer the same girl she was a few months ago. The next day, Reiji comes to the prep class with dark hair, glasses, and a completely changed appearance. When asked about it, he tells her that Sayaki inspired him to work hard. After that, Sayaki takes her first mock entrance exam. When the results are released, she is disappointed to learn that she only scored 60 out of 100, with a minimum passing score of 70 for admission to her desired university. Subota finds this unbelievable, because just a few months ago she would have scored 0. But Sayaki is disappointed that all her hard work is still not enough. She returns home and sees her father abusing her brother Ryuta for saying he no longer wants to play baseball anymore. Ryuta snaps and pushes his father away, yelling that he never wanted to play baseball. He leaves and doesn't come home that night. The next day, Sayaka is given another practice exam, but she doesn't score high enough. Stress and sleep deprivation overtake her, and she loses motivation to study. Subota tries to cheer her up, but his optimism makes her even more furious. Sayaki lashes out at him and runs away from the classroom. For the next 2 days, she doesn't leave her room. One night, Ryuta returns home and informs his father that he has quit the school baseball team. Mr. Kuda, having given up his dream of becoming a baseball player, dreamed of making his son the greatest player of all time. Seeing his dreams crumbling again, he begins beating Ryuta, asking him to come to his senses. Mrs. Kuda becomes so upset that she breaks a car window to stop her husband. When he is distracted, Ryuta takes the opportunity to escape again. Mrs. Kuda tells them that Ryuta had an asthma attack the night before the match because he was afraid he would be scolded if he didn't perform well. She chides her husband for being a terrible father to all of his children. Later, Sayaki asks her mother to accompany her on a tour of Keio University. The next day, They visit the campus and are amazed by everything they see. Mrs. Kuda wants her daughter to lead the same lifestyle as the students of this university. In the evening, Sayaki goes to class and meets Subota. She apologizes for being rude and thanks him for his patience. She also promises to continue classes from the next day. A week later, Sayaki takes her third practice exam, but is too scared to see the result. When she returns home, she finds her father burning all the baseball uniforms he bought for Ryuta. The man has realized his mistake and now wants to be a better father. He promises to support his children in whatever they want to do in life. As the family shares an emotional moment, Sayaka shows them the result of a mock exam where she scores 65 points. Her parents are more proud of her than ever, but the girl is still not happy. When the day of the entrance exam comes, the road is blocked due to heavy snowfall and the bus routes are closed. Sayaka's father offers to drive her, which is surprising because he's never had any involvement in her life. On the way, he asks her to do her best and not to worry about tuition because as a father he can handle everything. After dropping her off, he even prays for his daughter for the first time in his life. Sayaki does her best on the exam and goes home. Later that day, she goes to the prep class stating that it's her last day. She doesn't want to go back to report the results for fear of disappointing her teacher. Sayaki also makes Subota sign her study materials so that he will always be there for her when she studies. Before leaving, the girl gives him a letter thanking him for believing in her and making her what she is today. A few days later, Sayaki checks her result online and discovers that she didn't pass. She calls Subota and informs him of the result. Subota doesn't give up and insists that they appeal for a retest. However, Sayaka doesn't apply, so Subota does it for her. For the next few days, she goes out with her friends every day, trying to get back to her old lifestyle, but she can't help but feel frustrated. Then one day she checks her results again, and to her surprise, she sees that she got into Keio University. She immediately goes to the prep class and informs everyone that she has been accepted. The whole class erupts in applause, and Subota and Sayaka can't hold back their tears. In the last scene, we see Mr. Nishimura naked on the school grounds as he promised. He takes pictures with the girls, and Sayaki leaves for college after saying goodbye to his parents. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. See you very soon. Just click to watch more.